So as you can see, it's not exactly flat. I didn't have enough weights on it, or I didn't have the weight evenly distributed to make sure that it stayed flat, or maybe I should have flipped it. And then I ended up finding these in my closet. I've had these for 4 years and was gonna throw them away, and then found that they fit perfectly on this edge. So now I just gotta cut out the foam. Since the long sides fit perfectly, they do not fit on the short side. So now I'm gonna have to make that work. And I also added some mesh lining to increase its strength. And now I'm gonna measure everything out where I'm gonna be cutting. And just duplicate that cut. And now to get the edges, I'm gonna line up the corners and then bring everything in. And that's gonna give me the perfect angle for them to come into each other. I'm gonna use a protractor to figure out what the angle is, and that's gonna be 40. So I'm gonna go to my circular saw. I'm gonna set that to 40 degrees and cut away. All right, so I went ahead and clamped it down, made it nice and flush against everything, nice and flat. So I'm gonna leave it there for a little while. Okay, so now I'm just adding water on top of it, just plain water, and moving it around with just some paper, just to get the whole top layer wet. And I'm hoping that by doing that, when it dries, it's gonna hold the flat shape a little bit better. Kind of going off the principle of wrinkled clothing. Like if you want to get the wrinkle out, you spray it with water. It just relaxes the fibers. So I'm hoping that that plays an effect. So as you can see, it's getting pretty close to being dry after all the water has evaporated. And then I'm going to put the edges on with this brand new tool I just learned about. This is a clamp that's able to clamp around corners. So you can see it in action. And I have all of these pieces all ready to go. So this is going to be pretty interesting. So I just took the clamps off. It's still not level, but it is significantly straighter. So I think the water or the clamps helped. I'm about to flip it over, do the other side. All right, so I just finished clamping it upside down, and it turns out that I only really needed clamps down the middle. So I'm gonna wet this side, and I have enough room to do everything else with the other pieces. All right, so now it's completely dry. I'm gonna remove these clamps. All right, so now that it's pretty straight, I'm gonna put these on, and I'm gonna start by putting some glue down the middle. And then I'm just gonna spread it with my finger. Really wish I was wearing gloves. So now that that's done, I need to repeat it 3 more times. So here we are, all clamped up. I have all the edges squeezing in on each other. The whole middle is barren. And yeah, so this is how it is right now. I'm gonna let this go for a couple hours and then take it off and see how well it's doing. I did not anticipating needing this many clamps at all. And here's that one thing I was talking about. So the way this one works is it has 2 little corners. Then it has it on every corner that I do it at, so that it keeps pressure on both sides at the same time. Yeah, so I'm gonna just let this dry. So now that everything has dried, I'm gonna be removing all of the clamps. Alright, so now that I have all the clamps off, I'm gonna check to see its weight and how straight it is. So if you found this video interesting at all, please go ahead and give me a like and subscribe down below. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!